good Sunday afternoon from the Center for Spiritual Living, Pleasant Valley. I'm Reverend Pam Gagan. Please enjoy the service. Good morning again, and it's my honor to introduce those who are going to be with us today. Of course, our Reverend Betty Ann, our assistant minister, Pamela Bailey, our lead practitioner, and what's really a joy is our wonderful Rev. Lynn, Chaplin-Noe, and Buzz Noe are in dialogue this morning because Valentine's Day is not only their anniversary, but they're going to share their spiritual love journey with us during that dialogue. I can't wait. And our musical inspiration is Daniel Berkman. So it's wonderful to be with you. And so our vision here at the Center for Spiritual Living, the larger vision, and I've always given very proud that our assistant minister was instrumental in creating this, and it's awakening humanity to its spiritual magnificence. And then how we do that is our mission statement, and it is teaching and demonstrating spiritual principles for living an abundant and fulfilling life in a welcoming and compassionate community. And our candles of faith are very special to us. And on this loving a day of Valentine's Day, they're all about really love. And so it reminds us, those candles of faith, of the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all peoples and all faiths are sentient beings, and they come from that one great presence, that spirit divine, that one great love, because love is the truth and the unifying nature of all religions and all thoughts, which are their highest and best. So we honor today, and what they represent is what we're honoring, and it's the Tao, the natural way, the shamanic traditions honoring the beliefs and practices of the indigenous peoples. The Hindus we honor, and we honor them for the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. And for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. And for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. And all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as that path to love. All forms of Islam, honoring the path of the submission to the will of God as the highest calling. And for the universalistic religions, honoring the path of unity and peace. And of course, all forms of new thought, which we fall into, that is the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles, of which the Centers for Spiritual Living are represented in that category. And we always honor with one candle all those who are yet unaware of the power and presence of the Spirit Divine in their lives, and for the space that we hold for them at this center and in our hearts. So we just welcome you, and so glad you're with us. And now it is my honor to introduce the one and only Reverend Betty Ann, our assistant minister, for her quote of the day.
Thank you, Pam. Here are a few words for you to dwell upon today and throughout the week. In each moment of my day, I seek to extend love to every person, event, and situation I encounter. And if you'll join me now in an opening prayer treatment, just let your eyes close, let yourself be completely comfortable in whatever way you are, and open our minds to that infinite intelligence, that pure power of love, seeking to know that love and law in combination give us a result, and we live in the result. And so I know that this energy of love that pervades everyone today is God itself working through and as each one of us. And as we open ourselves to a greater understanding, to a deeper way of knowing that we are secure. In this service this morning, each one has a perfectly wonderful, individualized message. Open now to be able to receive and understand what that is personalized for each one of us. We are so blessed to be as we are, who we are, to remind ourselves constantly of our origin and of our life with this wonderful, wonderful principle in effect. Living to learn love and law brings completion. And so I just give great thanks that we have this information and that we can work our lives in mathematical precision. And so I just turn all these words over to that infinite power whose capacity is to fulfill our dreams and to give us new ones. And so just join me now in solidifying this with, and so it is.
And so it is. And Betty Ann, I love the heart behind you too. The heart. That's wonderful. Thank you. And now it's my honor to Oprah's joining us today. She's dropping in via YouTube, and she's with Gary Zukav on the relationships, the spiritual relationships, and what it means. Enjoy.
I just want to read from chapter 16 here on the soul summary in spiritual partnerships. Spiritual partnership is partnership between equals with the purpose of spiritual growth. Got that? Friendships are not spiritual partnerships. Why not?
Friends will try to console one another, empathize with one another, sympathize with one another. They'll try to make each other feel better when they're feeling bad. They'll celebrate when they're happy, but they won't ever help their friend look at where these experiences are coming from. Spiritual partners do. You know, if a friend has a friend who gets divorced and is in pain, they'll say, "Oh, it's gonna be okay," or "Look, she'll come back," or "Don't worry about it, you're a great guy." They try to ease each other's pains. In other words, you might put it this way: friends huddle together to keep from being buffeted by the winds.
Mm-hmm.
Spiritual partners want to know where the winds come from.
Ah.
Friends don't want to rock the boat. Spiritual partners love to swim. It's the same with marriage partners too.
Marriage partners
don't want to rock the boat.
Got it. Right. But spiritual partners do.
They want, yes.
They
not
are
afraid.
Underneath that boat, shaking it all the time.
Well, what it gets shaken all the time.
It's not quite like that. It's not quite like that.
So let me finish the list here, and we can respond to any way we want. Friendships are not spiritual partnerships. That's very clarifying, because you're right. Friends say, "Come on in. It's going to be okay. You're going to get through it." And you know why you do that? Because it's too hard to do the other thing. If you say to your friend who's going through a difficult time, I think maybe you need to look at yourself and to see why this is happening to you. Your friends get pissed off.
But it's not exactly saying that either.
Yeah.
You could say in a way it is, but in a way it's saying when they're in pain, helping them to develop emotional awareness. What are your thoughts? You know, she's no good. Why did I even think about that? Or how am I ever going to get someone like her again? Or what are your thoughts? They'll always be judgmental or critical, so they can get to know this part of their personality. Then comes the wonderful part, the powerful part, so that they can recognize it as a part of their personality.
Okay. only spiritual partnerships can satisfy individuals who are creating authentic power. Meaning, if you are looking to be a person who lives authentically with your life, you are not going to be in a relationship with somebody who isn't going to give that back to you. It's not
Why
going to
would you?
reflect
Why,
that.
if I want to be responsible for what I do, what I say, and what I create, why would I want somebody who wants to take care of me or make me feel better or not support me in what's the most important thing to me, which is becoming aware and using my life in a loving way and giving the gifts that I was born to give? Why? It's not that I would disdain the company of anyone who doesn't feel that way, but there's
If
a
you're here
natural
to
attraction.
grow as a spiritual being, that's what you want.
And other people who feel the same way will be drawn to you, and you
And
to them.
spiritual partners stay together as long as they grow together.
Yes.
They choose their own roles. They say the things they are most afraid will destroy their partnership.
Absolutely.
Whoa, that definitely is not marriage.
That's
No,
and
it's
that's
not.
difficult.
No, it's not at all.
It's difficult, but it also, if you don't say those things, then you end up having a relationship that's not that's superficial.
Where there's all that buried, repressed energy in the
Absolutely.
relationship.
Thank you, Oprah. Thank you, Gary Zukav, for dropping in. And now it is my honor to introduce What's the Buzz with our own poet laureate, Buzz Noe.
There I go. Thank you, Reverend Pam. And happy Valentine's Day to each and everyone out there. On this day, we celebrate those who love and care. So bring those good thoughts into what you do and what you say. And here are the announcements for today. At 9 a.m. weekdays on Facebook Live, Reverend Pam's Morning Meditations will help you to thrive. Relaxing meditations are on this week, so watch it and hear it. It'll help you calm down and connect you with spirit. At 7 p.m. Thursday on Facebook Live, our midweek uplift is here to help you to thrive. This week, Savina Altanova leaves a lesson that's vital. Let's be kind to one another is the title. At 10 a.m. on February 28th, the fourth Sunday of the month, Lisa Coffey will present A Lesson You Will Want. Her guest this month will be Swami S. His message will make you all feel blessed. So join in with Lisa prior to the Sunday lesson. Constant Contact has the Zoom info for this enlightening session. The end of last month began something we can cheer. The new season of nonviolence began right here. It runs till April 4th. That's 64 days. And with it, we can change the world by using peaceful ways. The link to participate is on Constant Contact. You'll learn how to make a peaceful and positive impact. This pandemic crisis is a challenge indeed, but our center is always here to help you to succeed. You can call and give us a request for a prayer or email to us from anywhere. We're always here for you, so please let us know what we can do. Though we're not yet authorized to gather together live, our center is still here to help us all thrive. So please do donate to keep our center going so we can be here to keep your wellness flowing. Two other places where you can lend a hand, so please do give them whatever you can. Ventura County Rescue Mission provides the homeless with much good, and Ventura County Food Share feeds the needy in our hood. A reminder that our center is part of Ralph's Community Contribution Program. A portion of whatever you spend at the store gives our center a small donation or more. So please do sign up or simply renew, and Ralph's will contribute at no cost to you. The center's number is JE859. You can sign up at the store or do it online. Another way to help our center for a while is to shop online using Amazon Smile. When you complete your purchase for the items you got, it will donate to our center right on the spot. And whether you're a dog or a cat or a girl or a boy, Happy Valentine's Day is now here to enjoy. So that's it for the announcements, though I will be back. For now, here's Pamela Bailey our center's lead prac.
Thank you so much, Buzz. I can't wait to giggle at whatever rhymes you come up with. So today, of course, is Valentine's Day, and it is a day that we celebrate love, which of course comes in many forms. We see lots of hearts and flowers and candy boxes and things that are red, and yet that's simply one aspect of it. As I was looking at something and it said 3% of pet owners actually give treats and gifts to their pets on Valentine's Day. I thought that was rather interesting. In this notion of love, I was reading this story about this man who was a minister, and he had just started a new assignment, and he had done 3 sermons and weekly things, and his wife was found wandering around in the middle of the night outside, and it was determined she had Alzheimer's. So they had to make some adjustment to their plans. The thing about this was that this man loved being a minister. He loved being up there in the pulpit, and he loved being of service in the community. As they were looking at how they were going to change, he had 3 guest appearances because he'd stepped away from his position. And each of them he thoroughly enjoyed, and he used the same sermon. The wife said to him, she was President 1, and she said, "I hardly talked to you all week while you prepared, and I couldn't appreciate listening to your sermon. I felt left out, and I need you." And that, of course, was a knock from God. And he was so committed to his ministry, but he'd been teaching that anything done with God's love was as important and valuable as the most public ministry. And I really loved that anything done with God's love, or with love of any sort, that is the ministry. So I have some quotes for you. The first is kind of a paraphrase of Martin Luther King, which says, "We cannot fight darkness with darkness. It is love that dispels the darkness and the fear." The next quote is from Mary Morrissey. "Love is a way of being, letting the God in you shine through so that others catch the light and awaken to the glory of God here now." And the last quote is from the founder of religious science, Ernest Holmes. And he says, "Love is a language which is universal, interpreted through every living soul and understood by all. Love will find the solution to every problem, will answer every question, and will ultimately vanquish every fear. Love begets tolerance, tolerance begets understanding, and understanding which is able to put itself in the other's place." So taking these thoughts of love and who we truly are, let us come into our centering treatment for this morning. Allow yourself to be comfortable wherever you are. Close your eyes if you wish, and simply breathe in and out, and breathing in that wonderful love energy of today in, and expelling anything unlike that energy. One more time, in with the love, and out with any resistance. And as I turn into prayer, I know that there is just God, and that the God of my understanding is a God of love, is a God of brilliance, is a God of creation, is a God of healing, and definitely a God of comfort and creation and love, particularly in the moments needed. And as I contemplate who I am at my core divine love, being uniquely expressed as me in this time, in this place. And being uniquely expressed, I carry those God qualities, and I am one with all that God is. The wisdom, the intelligence, the power, the presence, all of it. It is within me, and it is available to me. And so as I focus on that love, and on this day of celebrating love, I consciously look for things to love. I consciously look for things to appreciate. I consciously look for those things which are moving in the right direction. And I consciously look for how I can shine that light in the world, that light of love, that light of wisdom, that light of joy, that light of delight. All of those are aspects of love. And so this day, celebrating love, I am intentional. I look for the love and I reach out. I call people. I check in one way or another. There's so many ways to communicate now with those that I love who I'm not able to see in person, and perhaps distance would be an issue in any case. But that love compels me, propels me to reach out, to share it, to allow it to be expressed. And all sorts of things are expressions of love. When we prepare something special for our families or our loved ones or a friend, or when we prepare a food basket and drop it on a neighbor's porch, whatever it is that we do, we have the choice of doing it in love. And that love gives us a joy, that deep peace, knowing that we have been that which we came to be, knowing that demonstrating that love and that light is my true path, whatever it is. And whatever that is enough. It could be that public ministry, it could be that kind act, and simply a smile at someone as I pass them. Obviously not when I'm wearing my mask. And wearing my mask is clearly a statement of love. Looking out for the others and looking out for myself and for our community and our world, such that this time of difficulty passes and that we are all healthy and well, and we can come together and create that world that works for everyone, that world that is based in love and goodness. And so as I focus on that, and I'm grateful for this day, I just release all of this, knowing that love is absolutely the motivating factor in our lives. And so it is. And thank you very much. And now I have the great pleasure of introducing Daniel Berkman.
Thank you so much, Pamela. I'd like to play a song on the kora, which is a 21-stringed harp from West Africa. This song is called La Vie en Rose, special song for today.
Oh, Danny, that's perfection. That was pure perfection. I can't even tell you how I'm just vibrating. It's amazing. And it's so perfect to introduce people that are near and dear to your heart. Rev Lynn, Chaplin-Noe, and Buzz Noe with their wonderful talk on relationship. Rumi and Roses. Welcome, Buzz and Lynn.
Thank you so much, Rev Pam. Thank you, Daniel.
Oh, Daniel.
Thanks, Mom. Thanks,
That was
Buzz.
amazing. And it's so romantic. Love you, Rose. Thank you.
Happy
Love you so much.
Valentine's Day.
Love my children. Oh, I love you all too. And this is a special day for us. It's a Valentine to you from Buzz and me, because we love you so much. And the discussion today is a love letter to you. It's about the divine yes. And this is our anniversary, our 39th anniversary of meeting. We met February 13th on a Saturday morning. And on February 14th, Valentine's Day, this guy kissed me for the first time.
Yes, it was. And I stole the kiss.
He stole the kiss.
We had just met the day before.
We just
reached in and had to kiss this woman. She was
what
amazing.
we did then on that day and on that weekend was say yes to something that was sacred and divine and continues to be so. We said yes to just the possibility that we were something special. And so we want to share all of that with you today and focus on the divine yes. So Buzz, tell us, it's going to be a little tiny bit different today. Tell us how it's going to be.
A little different. It's going to be pretty simple though, since the title of the discussion is Rumi and Roses, discussing the divine yes. We're going to be using quotes from the great Rumi to move through our discussion. If you go to the comment section on your screen now, you can see that we've asked a question, and you can also ask questions there and write in the comment section whenever we ask you questions. So that'll be there for us to move forward, and Lynn's got more to say.
Yeah, I'm getting comments already. Thank you, Janet, for being here. And thank you, Marcia. I'm sure your father in the heaven world is enjoying that music as well. So I'd like to begin, since this is a love letter to all of you, I would like to begin with a Rumi. And Rumi, by the way, for those of you who may not know, was a 13th century poet and mystic. And this is a love poem for all of you, and especially to You know who. The minute I heard my first love story, I started looking for you, not knowing how blind that was. Lovers don't finally meet somewhere. They're in each other all along.
And that's so valid for us because it was amazing. We met each other for the first time on the 13th and met more interacted on the 14th. And it just felt like I've known this woman all my life and felt love for her that I'd always had there. So it was really one of those love at first sight, but it was already there.
We remembered each other from the ages, I think.
Yeah, it's pretty
I'd
amazing.
like to explain to you guys what divine means. Our wonderful spiritual, the father of our teaching, Dr. Ernest Holmes, says this: there is a divine yes that will not be denied. It is yes that leads to joy, love, challenge, growth, and the ongoing yet to be, the soul's calling. The infinite, invisible yes may announce itself through joy and peace, pain, or loss, but beyond every experience in life, there is a greater yes that awaits our acknowledgement and our response.
And we'll be talking about this as we go along, but you have to remember that the divine yes is always there. And it's there if you say something positive about yourself, something good about life, it's there to reflect and say yes to that. But if you go, oh, this is terrible, I'm such an idiot, I'm an idiot, I can't do this.
You're still right.
The divine yes will also agree with that. So that's what we're going to be talking about.
So there's a quote for...
Yes, we have a quote here from Dr. Holmes describing the divine like this. And that's the question I put in there, 3 words of how you would describe the divine. But Dr. Holmes says, divine, there can and does descend into our minds, embody and personify in our person a divinity, a unity, the Spirit of God, the direct incarnation of the original thing in us, the mystical presentation of the Christ.
Which is, of course, the Christ, and Reverend Pam mentioned that earlier in the beginning when she did the candles of faith. That's the Christ consciousness is our Christ awareness. It's the highest and best expression of who we are. And that's pretty much it. Buzz.
Yes.
So this is how we're going to do it. Do you have a quote for me? Let's see where that takes me.
I do, and we're going to be going back and forth with some Rumi quotes. And here's the first one for Lynn, and here is the quote. Out beyond the ideas of wrongdoing and right doing, there is a field. I'll meet you there.
I'll meet you there. I love that one. Thanks. Good choice, Buzz. Okay, what that immediately brings up for me is, and it's something that I learned very early on in this teaching, that above and beyond the appearance of what's going on in the world, there is a higher and greater idea. There's always something higher and greater for us. So if we are fixed on what's going on in the news right now and how our world looks, and there's a pandemic and there's confusion and there's chaos and all kinds of messy stuff, that can be our reality. And it is also possible to say yes to a higher reality, a higher idea, a higher, a new earth, a new earth. So above and beyond the appearance of what's going on is pure potential. That's where our divine potential is. And saying yes to that, putting your focus on that, is a divine activity. That's the divine yes. It's a new earth. You know, I do have another quote regarding this by Rumi that's perfect.
Okay.
Absorbed in this world, you've made it your burden. Rise above this world. There is another version. Great. That's really great. And it's true. When we look above and beyond, there is another version of our world, of our earth, of our beingness, of our expressiveness that is so productive and loving and generous and kind. And let's focus on that.
It's a reminder that The world is out there, what it is. Our interpretation
Yeah.
of that world and what's happening is up to us. And one thing we loved about going through Rumi is this: is he wrote these 7 centuries ago, and
Yeah.
yet everything is still valid. The infinity of love and God comes through, because what he said then still is true now.
He's still relatable.
You got one
So
for me?
I've got one for you.
Oh.
Okay. And this is a favorite of mine. Okay. Your task is not to seek for love, but merely to seek and find all the barriers within yourself that you have built against it. He could have written that yesterday.
She
Yeah.
certainly could, because it's like we said, it's
It's amazing.
700 years old, still valid today. Because what I see Rumi is saying here is that in order to align ourselves with the divine yes that is always out there, we must learn to love ourselves before we can look to love someone else. Certainly, if you're not loving who you are, then you have established that barrier to bringing love into your life.
Yeah.
When you can find a way to love yourself for who you are today, and forgiving yourself for anything that might have happened in the past, you'll be much more ready to receive and be there for the divine yes. So keep on telling yourself that I am good enough. I love my body. I love who I am. I love what I'm doing in this world, because the divine yes will now open the door to bringing love into your life. So be good
You know
to
what I'm
yourself.
thinking of, right? I'm good enough, I'm smart enough, and gosh darn it, everybody likes me.
Well,
I love that. But, find the blocks. And when you find your blocks, and Tole would say, when you see where your blocks are, say, that's where my block is. And as soon as you've said that and you said yes to that, you've opened up a landscape of work to do. I'm looking at some comments here. And Sandy Fitzgerald, hi, Sandy.
hey,
I'm so glad
Sandy.
you're here. Sandy says, divine, sacred, everlasting, blessed. And that's her definition of divine. And that's beautiful. Thank you, Sandy. I know that you're beautifully happy and experiencing your wellness. And Marcia said something too earlier on. Perfect music.
Oh.
I'll find it anyway.
Divine also.
Anyway, it's divine. Yeah.
Well, darling Lynn, here I'm wondering now how you will interpret this Rumi quote and how it fits with the divine yes.
Okay.
And here it is. If you are irritated by every rub, how will your mirror be polished?
Woo, that's a good one. And on the surface, that looks exactly what it means, and it goes much, much deeper than that. That speaks to our spiritual practice. So what I'm thinking, how I'm conducting my thoughts, I'm directing divine mind, how I'm conducting my life then is a reflection of that, a reflection of who I'm being. So my spiritual practice informs how I polish that mirror. Now, here's the groovy part about this is when I say yes to even the worst thing that's in front of me. And this is difficult because right now a lot of people are experiencing a lot of loss and a lot of pain and a lot of uncertainty and fear and all of those things. If you can look right at that and say, yes, that's there. And I said this earlier, immediately there's a whole open landscape of potential for you to move through it. You have to move through it. You have to go through it to get through it. So whatever's in front of you, if you say no to it, no, I don't accept this. This is not happening. This can't be happening. Well, that's creative. And if you look at it and say, this is bad. This is right in front of me. And yes to this is what I am moving through. With everything that I know, with everything that I believe, I'm moving through this and I will get through this. And I love that quote. I get that quote from Reverend David Alexander in Atlanta, one of our ministers. I love that quote. It's a wonderful quote. So yeah, without the hard lessons, the wins and the losses and all of it, we're not going to polish that beautiful self. Now, here's the thing, is that we are already the beautiful self. That's our nature. We are absolutely, every cell in our body is designed to say yes, to move perfectly. And so when we say that we are going to polish that mirror, that is so that we can see what's already there, which is perfect and beautiful. So that's how we start. So that's the yes, is to accept and say that we are absolutely perfect. Everything that's in front of me is absolutely perfect. Everything is for me. Say that. Say that. Just say whatever's happening in your life, this is for me. That's my lesson. That's the gift. Thank you. Yes to that, and move right through it. Maybe not that quickly. But
You'll get there if you
Yeah.
focus on what's within as opposed to what's going on out there. And
Yeah.
so that'll get you there.
I have a doozy for you.
Oh,
Yeah. This is a good one. Let me see if there are any more. Oh, Pamela Hitchcock Berger says, wow. Thank you, Pamela. I appreciate
Thank
that
you.
very much. Wow to you too. I'm glad you're with us. Okay, here you go, Buzzy. Good old Rumi with another biggie. Yesterday I was clever, so I wanted to change the world. Today I am wise, so I am changing myself. I'm sorry, it's too wonderful. Did you get that?
that quote resonates with me quite a bit because looking at yesterday, I graduated from Pennsylvania State University and got commissioned in the Navy. This was right in the middle of the Vietnam War. I was a political science major, and if you studied political science, you realize that the Vietnam War was not valid. We shouldn't be there. So right away, I started thinking I was clever, what I could do that would alter the world situation, get us out of there and resolve things. And after a while, it started to realize that you don't readily change the world. But then what happened was that back in 1997, Lynn and I went to see Dr. Tom Johnson and got involved with our teaching, The Science of Mind. And what I realized upon that was that by changing myself, by altering who I was, the way I thought, the way I was in this world, that would send out the message to everyone and everywhere that this can be a better world, and that in itself would change the world. So this is where I started focusing on what I can do to make myself a better person, develop mindful habits that would boost who I am, learn how to have a higher self-conscious about life. So that should be your goal. Understand yourself better, know yourself better, keep a more positive attitude, because it not only will affect you and give you a positive stance and thereby affect the world and everyone and everything that you go out to work with, but it also will do something that's very nice. It will keep yourself in a more positive situation to, as Lynn says, when things go on in the world, you will now know better how to deal with them, how to stay positive, how to learn a lesson there, how to get something from that that would be a blessing as opposed to a curse. And that will open the doors to you receiving and benefiting from the divine yes.
Yeah. Dr. Tom used to say, I remember when Columbine happened, we went in on a Wednesday lesson and we were devastated. And he said, first love and bless everyone who had that experience and some who left the planet. And then say thank you for the lesson. And the lesson was peace. And it hadn't occurred to us to say thank you. And so, yeah, say yes and move through it to get through it. Yeah, absolutely.
Be the divine yes, because we are God as we are. And
he's got something for
that's
me.
A divine yes, I do. There's another quote for you.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure I'm going to know where you're going to go with this quote from Rumi. It's everything in the universe is within you. Ask all from yourself.
Okay. There's something counterintuitive here because, and I spoke about this a couple of weeks ago to somebody, always have a beginner's mind. baby Buddha, right? Always be open, receptive to everything. I know nothing. And then at the same time, we're being told that we have everything within us that we shall ever need to know. And I'm going, whoa, which am I going to do? Am I going to be baby Buddha, or am I going to be this wise sage? And the fact is that they're really the same thing. They're part of the same spiritual practice. We know what we know, and we understand the principles of science of mind. We know what we know. When we go within, we go within with everything that we know, and then let it go and accept the vastness and the wisdom, or the nothingness that's in our meditation. And there's a great quote. I want to read this quote here. Wait a minute. Let me find it. Okay. And this is by Joel Goldsmith. In going within, we do not turn to our own spirituality, or our own goodness, or our own strength, or our own knowledge, but we go within to unleash the infinite invisible. So that's the answer to my the conundrum of, am I a baby Buddha, or am I a wise sage? This is, we go in with what we know, and then we just let it go and unleash for our, we say yes. That's what we do. We say yes when we go into meditation. We say yes to the presence, and we say yes to what it is that we know. Artists, I'm convinced that what Daniel just did was a form of prayer. It's a form of saying yes, and that artists, writers, singers, musicians, dancers, speakers, ministers say yes to that divine data that's coming through. And when Daniel plays, he doesn't just play, he'll probably improvise in the next song. And he says yes to that divine muse. And that's what musicians do. And pay attention, and you'll see something come through when Danny's playing, and all of a sudden he's in a grand experience. And that's saying yes. That's the divine yes. When you decide to come on and watch the service on a Sunday morning and get some of all this good stuff, you're saying yes to your divine inquisitor. You want to know, you want to find out something new, you want to experience community, so you come to us, you say yes. I'm sticking with that. That's my answer to that one.
And so valid. And Daniel, like you said, is a great example of saying yes, because if he questioned, hey, can I play this? Will people enjoy this? Will this work? Then he wouldn't go on and play. He does 2 times a week up in the garden up in San Francisco. He plays here. Yeah. And it's because he's saying yes to his talent, yes to his abilities, and just going forward, and it works for everyone.
Yeah. It's part of our spiritual practice, is listening to him twice a week, and watching and meditating with Reverend Pam every week morning. She's there. It's wonderful. It's a wonderful experience.
You mentioned that people are in the comment section right now. You can write 1 or 2 words about how you express the divine yes within yourself.
Yeah, jot that down.
We'll look at that a little later.
Yeah. And I have one last question for you, one last quote for you, Buzz. You ready?
Yes.
Okay, tense up. Here's a good one. Where there is ruin, there is hope for a treasure.
Once again, so very valid. Because what I get from this quote is that in our lives, as you know, things don't always go the way we had expected, the way we had planned, the way we had chosen, what we had anticipated would happen. Life does not always follow along with what that was in our mindset. But what we always can do is now, instead of, we can see that, this is a ruin. But no, as Rumi said, there's a treasure in that ruin. When something doesn't go the way that you expected it to go, rather than going, oh, life is such a terrible thing, look for something that you can gain from that. What is the lesson you have learned? Where are you now that you would have been otherwise, that was able to move you along more positively? Mm-hmm. And again, Dr. Tom Johnson comes to mind, because one thing he always would say was that you're stuck in a traffic jam on the freeway, and rather than go, oh, this is the terriblest thing, look for it as what he called a divine postponement. In other words, you're there because if you were ahead of there, if there wasn't a traffic jam, you might be getting run in by a truck or something like that. So look for this as where you're supposed to be and what you can gain from it. And that will be, once again, a more positive way of moving forward. And what we've discovered in doing research on this is that positive attitude will not only allow you to more readily reveal the divine yes within yourself, it will also improve your emotional, your spiritual, and your mental health. And doing that will also increase your physical health. It helps your immune system. So that positive attitude is something that you want to keep with you, especially during these days of the pandemic going on. That will help you get through it that much more readily. So stay positive. And
Rumi is so still, as we said earlier, he's so relatable all these thousands of years. Absolutely. So they're timeless and they're applicable today as much as they ever have been. Today, we said yes to a lot of things.
Yes, we did.
We said yes to accepting guidance. We said yes to love. We said yes to looking beyond above appearances and seeing the potential and seeing the gift. We said yes to meditation. We said yes to our own divinity. We said yes to the presence of adversity and still moving through it to get through it. And so, we said less to self-love and a lot more. We said a lot of yeses. So now I'm asking you guys, you can use the comment section if you want to, but I want to ask you what you are saying yes to right now in your life, and what this week, let's make this happen right now. Let me know what you're saying yes to this week in your life, where your commitment is to a higher and greater experience of life right here and now. As a matter of fact, that's your homework. There you go. Should you choose to accept it and say yes quickly. And speaking of saying yes quickly.
And a reminder that we said yes to each other on our vows 39 years ago, and look, it stayed with us.
Yeah, it stuck.
It works.
So speaking of saying yes quickly, we want to end with a poem for all of you. It's a quick one. We'll start with Buzzy. The title of this poem is Say Yes Quickly by Rumi.
And here it goes. Forget your life. Say God is great. Get up. You think you know what time it is. It's time to pray. You've carved so many little figurines. Too many. Don't knock on any random door like a beggar. Reach your long hand out to another door, beyond where you go on the street where everyone says, how are you? And no one says, how aren't you?
Tomorrow you'll see what you've broken and torn tonight, thrashing in the dark. Inside you, there's an artist you don't know about. He's not interested in how different things look in the moonlight.
If you are here unfaithfully with us, you're causing terrible damage. If you've opened your loving to God's love, you're helping people you don't know and have never seen.
Is what I say true? Say yes quickly. If you know, you've known it from the beginning of the universe.
And so it is.
We love you so much. And now it's our pleasure. Yay, we get to introduce the yes man of the day, Daniel Berkman.
Here he is.
That was so fun. Thanks, Mom and Buzz. So, in keeping with saying yes, I'm going to say yes to the present moment right now and just improvise something.
Oh, Daniel, the music just wraps around the perfection of this Valentine's Day service. Thank you, honey, so much. And
You're
in
welcome.
that perfection, I want to, it fits so well. It's one of my favorite Rumi poems. And it's that which God said to the rose and caused it to laugh in full-blown beauty, he said to my heart and made it 100 times more beautiful. And so I thank you, everybody. It was so perfect, sweetheart. Everything, all of the sweethearts here. Oh gosh, blessings galore. And together we're going to do our offertory, but before, and please read it home if you want to, in the silence of your rooms. But I also want to just say thank you for all your generosities. It's almost been a full year. March 10th, March 3rd will be the last time that we met in person. It'll be 1 year on March 3rd. And I just also want to say we more than ever need your sustenance from God, the divine givingness of God in and through and as you for our center. We're so close to coming back with shots in arms and cases declining. So please keep us in mind. We want to open for reservations late spring, early summer. And so we're just looking to you, and God is you to help us out here. So anyway, let us now read our offertory. Divine love blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And so it is, and that's the way it is. And we just want to thank you so much always for being with us and for your generous donations. And we have ways to contribute right from your computer, and it's on PayPal and Zelle. And if you go to our website, www.csl.pleasantvalley.org, if you scroll down, or maybe it's even at the top now, click on PayPal, click on Zelle. And then there's other ways you can contribute as well. And that is through our wonderful Ralph's program and also our snail mail, as I say, at our address, 221 East Daily Drive, Suite number 1, Camarillo, California. And visit our website, www.cslpleasantvalley.org. And let us know also at cslpleasantvalley@gmail.com what you would like to more of, what you would like to hear more of and be more involved in. We will be starting classes very soon also. The first class is the divine equivalence within all of us, and we'll keep you in the know about that. So thank you again for being with us. And now it is my honor to introduce our wonderful Reverend Betty Ann Brennan for our closing prayer. Thanks, Betty Ann.
All right, everybody just relax and let go and be in the presence, in the feeling of this infinite intelligence and power, always saying yes to us as we say yes to it. And so in this day of recognizing love on all levels, I accept this love from this infinite creative power of the universe. It is focused upon me, within me, and allows me to express or to rest. I am blessed in all things. And I know that this world is unfolding in a new and interesting way, in a new and wonderful way. And above all, I am safe. I am safe because I have God in my corner, on my chair, everywhere. This infinite power protects and cares for me in lavish ways. And I accept all that has been given during this service. I have found my own pearl and I carry it away. And so I am so grateful, grateful, grateful. And I turn these words over to that infinite power for the fulfillment of the experience. And so it is.
Oh, Betty Ann, thank you so much. Happy Valentine's Day. To all of you, to all of you. And also, we're going to close with Daniel Nahmod, a video, and then I'm going to wave goodbye and say thank you to everybody. And it's Get Ready, My Soul. Enjoy.
Get ready, my soul. I'm driving in. Get ready, my soul. I'm driving in to the deepest kind of love, to the sweetest kind of life. Get ready, my soul. Everything I've ever done, everything I've ever seen, everything I've lost or won, everything I've ever dreamed has brought me here to the present moment, here to a new beginning here. And I'm seeing life so clearly now. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in. my soul. I'm diving in to the deepest kind of love, to the sweetest kind of life. Get ready, my soul. 'Cause here I go, deeper, deeper, deeper than I've ever been before. Here I go, closer, closer, closer to my sacred source. Here I go, deeper, deeper, deeper than I've ever been before. Here I go, closer, closer, closer to my sacred source. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in to the deepest kind of love, to the sweetest kind of life. Get ready, my soul. Get ready, my soul.
Thank you all for making this such a special, wonderful Valentine's Day, especially for those who are still inside as shut-ins. And I just want to say thanks again to our wonderful Rev. Lynn, Chaplin-Noe, Buzz Noe, our wonderful Reverend Betty Ann Brennan, Pamela Bailey, Daniel Berkman, and a special behind-the-scenes thanks to Daniel Namod, Marcia Beebe, and Spencer Gagan, and our wonderful Ivan Karolinski, who make this all happen, make the magic here happen. Happy, blessed, blissed, wonderful Valentine's Day. I love each and every one of you. Mwah! Have a great, 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 great Valentine's Day and rest of your week. And I'll see you tomorrow morning with relaxing meditations. Blessed be.